Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of F2. Let me mute myself before people start complaining to me. Welcome back to another edition of F2 here in Ero. As I'm sure you can tell, my name is Loki. It's been quite a while since I last commentated. Been doing quite a few things, traveling, birthdays and whatnot. But today, as you can see, for the Hungarian Grand Prix, myself and Josh will be your commentators. Again, it's been quite a while. I think I've missed about 3 races. So having a look at the championship, it seems as though Aldrich, has built somewhat of what seems like an unassailable lead. He's not racing today though, so it could be a chance for Joko Balgos, who's the man in second place, to capitalise and close that gap, which currently stands at 49 points. He's followed closely by Champ on 84 points, who is 61 points behind the leader, so another potential opportunity to close down that gap. Josh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here just sorting something out in a minute, so I'll be with you in about 5.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, so yeah, Josh actually woke me up, which is great because then I would most certainly not be commentating for you right now, because I was heavily asleep about 5 minutes ago. So how many people have we got at the moment? Let me just find out how many drivers we will have for you today. What's this? Only 15. Well, it looks like we're going to have 15 drivers on the grid today. Arsenal are horrendous. I'm sorry. I just had to get out there on the stream. I think apparently we're supposed to have 15, but there's only 14 at the moment, which is...
Alright, okay.
Yeah, I guess it is what it is. But this track genuinely likes to throw up surprises in terms of weather. I know there's a meme or a clip of myself quite... I don't know how to describe it when there was rain in the race. Hopefully there's nothing like that today because Hungary is already difficult enough in terms of overtaking and things in the dry. So let's hope it's not that.
I remember the clip during the minute silence for Murray Walker as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it is what it is. But yeah, only 14 drivers at the moment. I think one person might be joining. Is that 14? Yeah, I think one person might be joining during the session. Oh, excuse me, mate. You actually woke me up. Like, thank you, because I was definitely like sleeping. I was definitely sleeping. It's sunny for quali, which is good. So you can find out the weather.
Yeah, usually if it was to be raining the race and dry and quali, I wouldn't expect it to be this bright, considering it being short and being so close to the race time. So hopefully we got double dry. will see though.
Say that again, sorry?
I said we will see though.
Oh, yeah, it's
Never know in
clear.
Hungary. It's clear all the way, yeah? Or we'll see.
Yes, that's great. Okay, so,
Captain Emery coming out.
yeah,
First
there you
to do
go.
so, I believe.
So what are we looking at then for pole? Because Jericho yesterday in practice was looking fairly quick. I think he did a 14.3. What type of lap times do you think will be the benchmark in terms of pole position?
I'm really not too sure. I've been doing a bit of practice myself, but I've just got a new wheel, so I'm struggling to even get her on the track at the moment. So I'm completely in the blue when it comes to what the lap time's going to be today in quali. We'll have to see what the bankers come to say and give us a vague answer. A lot of people are on the mediums though at the moment.
Oh wow, I can't.
Some
My
on the
screen's a
softs
bit
also.
stupid. It's telling me everyone's on softs, but this game's a bit like that, so I'm sure hopefully will change at some point. Let's see if I can have a look. Yeah, actually, I can see Masiek's out on mediums.
Yep.
Jericho's out on softs. King on mediums. Lekala mediums. Patuka softs. Champ softs. Marburg mediums as well. So yeah, quite a good mix out there. The delta's I think the delta's probably too big to qualify on mediums and think you'll get a good position. But with only 14 drivers on the grid, you'd probably think that some people might not even do a lap, let alone start on the mediums. I mean, qualify with the mediums.
Yeah, with the chances of safety cars around here, it's quite a tight circuit. People see it as a street circuit without the walls, but people probably wouldn't mind having an extra set of fresh softs, so maybe less laps in quali and save them for the race and see what happens. But yeah, I think medium runners are probably, it's quite wise actually, because with only 14 drivers, there's only 4 spots that they can lose out on having to waste a tyre. Anywhere else, and they're in the good in the top 10. So, but there's a lot of them on it though, so it might actually take the actual win out of the strategy by having so many of them do it.
Yeah.
Because usually it would just be 1 or 2 doing so, but yeah, seems to be half and half split on the tyre strategy at the moment.
Yeah, so definitely gonna come into play later on in the session. It's funny you mentioned saving a set of soft tyres. I actually did that last season, and then we had to restart the lobby. So I was just like, well, I did 2 laps in quali, could have done 3 and qualified better, and then the lobby glitched, and then we had to reset. I guess with this game, that's always an issue. I've also been seeing what's been going on with like PC leagues. So what? There's not been any PC running anywhere?
Yeah, so while you've been gone, there was a cosmetic update to do with one of the podium passes, I believe, where they added a Tiamat Marduk car livery, which is great and all, but like, who really cares at the moment when we've got such issues throughout the multiplayer of the game? They seem to be taking quite the care of the career modes and the offline modes, but not a single bit of effort has been going into the multiplayer at the moment, and we've seen that because with a simple cosmetic update, we've been seeing desync across the whole entire PC platform. Wow. And PlayStation has been hit as well, slightly. We've seen a couple races, well, I have across the community, where a former glitch where you would pit and your car would just drive through the pit building.
Oh god.
And then teleport onto the track. So yeah, big desync issues.
I think I know about that. I know there's one in Baku. If you crash in the pit lane, it'll put you like slap bang on the racing line.
Yeah, but this time you wouldn't have to crash. It would just be a normal pit stop.
Oh
and
shit!
Your car would just drive into it would clip through the building, and then just because you're not
I think I saw that.
Yeah, and it just teleport you to the start line.
Oh god! Well, let's hope Codemasters actually understand why their game is, I'd say, hot right now. It's not because of career mode. Let's be honest. Career mode's probably been dead for a couple of years, so to say. They definitely need to fix it, because I'm pretty sure people were saying they were expecting an announcement on the next game, maybe a few days ago, because they basically announced the game on the same date 2 years in a row, but we've not heard anything yet. But let's just hope that they can fix up, basically. Whilst we were talking about that, as you can see by the timing screen, Jericho Balgos is currently on provisional pole on a 1:14.5, so that's a full second faster than anybody else on the track. So the gauntlet has been laid for the rest to try and follow and beat. Whether or not that is going to happen, we'll have to wait and see. Still 12 minutes left in the current session. You've got Yomir, starting a lap. Yep, Yomi coming around the last corner, starting a lap. Patuka's invalidated on his lap. Libanar's just gone wide, but he's managed to keep it on the track. So we'll stay on board with him as he comes through the middle sector. And it's always so tricky around this track in terms of keeping within the white lines. And he does go out of bounds, and that is the lap time invalidated. It's so easy to do. Murphy's coming into the pits. Is anybody else currently on a lap out there? Ferrets, we've got currently in the middle sector. His Ferrari teammates slowing up ahead of him. Let's see if he can get through here without invalidating. He does, and he at least has what will be a potential lap time on the board. Only a few corners left to navigate, but these few corners are so tricky, because at this point you've absolutely got the tyres on the limit of temperature and grip, and you kind of need to thread your way very carefully through, especially on the rear. And he's got his DRS open, he's coming to the line, and it's P2 for Ferrets in the Ferrari.
Yeah, we could see in the last two corners there, the locking up of the front tyres, and although it is really bad on the rears around here, that front left is absolutely screaming when you come into that last sector. Usually with any other track, setups are quite varied and people can get away with different things and not necessarily take a risk with it. But around here, setup I think is very crucial, because those tyre temps, trying to keep them low and have a solid lap, just in quali. I mean, when you get into the races, it's a whole different story. It's
different.
it's a very hard strategy to pull off if you want to do the two fastest compounds, but I reckon we will end up seeing a bit of the hard compound out on the formation lap.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised actually. I think if you're starting P11, going hard is, well, you can see actually from P8 to P11 currently these guys on mediums. Whether or not they're out on softs, I can't see it because the game's a bit glitched. But if they do start on those mediums from P8, you're going to be in for a really good race. Let's actually see. Actually, now Masic's out on the softs, so is Liver now. Yeah, so I think they've all gone to the softs. Yeah.
Everyone apart from Martinho and Eat My Dust, the bottom two of the grid at the moment. Everyone else has decided to bite the bullet and go back to the softs.
That front left, that front left is going to be the key point in the race, because I think as we saw there on board, Yomi on his lap actually, so he's turned into the final corner and the front of the car is obviously just sliding across, because his front left's probably somewhere above 100 degrees. So I guess managing that is, whoever can really manage that the best is probably going to find themselves on the podium, more so than any outright pace advantage itself, especially if you're looking to go from the soft to the medium tyre. We've currently got Captain Emre starting a lap, and he's going through the first sector. You want to take us through it, Josh?
Yeah, sure. So he's coming through to the dreaded fourth corner of the track that we all seem to hate and love. It comes around, doesn't take too much care. You can't really, because you can unset the car. Takes it nice and tight onto the white sausage curb, going up into this right-hander. Brake just with the rumble strip there. Take a nice line, but not hitting the inside sausage can really unsettle it, just like turn 4. Taking these S's pretty smoothly now. Just clipping the apex. You can't use them too much because you can easily invalidate on that exit of the right-hander there, and then another fast corner, which can really heat up the back rears and put you in an unjust position for the last sector. But he seems to be keeping it pretty smooth at the moment. I can't see the temperatures on his wheel, but he looks alright. He does lock up though, and it looks like the front left is the one taking the beat in there. And is he going to understeer into this corner, which is what we will usually see? But no, he's actually taking. He has actually understeered a little bit. You can see he's up to lift a bit, but other than that, not too bad. A 1:15.1. He did improve by half a second there, so not a bad lap. But it's just that final sector is absolute crucial.
Yeah, to say the least. So a decent lap left from Captain Emre, puts himself on the second row. You've got Livina about to come across the line. He goes P7 on the 15.7. Patuka a little bit further down, also improving. Lecala just invalidates. Whilst we're on board with Captain Emre, King managed to put himself on the front row, up alongside Jerko Bagos, who we're actually going to follow on his current lap at the moment. Coming to the end of Sector 1, he's up just over half a tenth and he throws it in. That was really quick. You can see he's quite confident with this Mercedes at the moment, using all of the track on the left-hand side. Is he going to use the curbs quite aggressively here? He does use the second one, takes the curb and the curb when it exits, keeps it in fifth through the middle sector, which is an interesting tactic to say the least. Downshifting to sit for the fast right-hander, which you have to do. He's gained a little bit more time in that middle sector, just under a tenth. He is up at the moment with only a few more corners to navigate here coming through the final sector, while you see the Williams jumping out of the way through the final corner. This does look really, really clean from Jericho Balgos. Is he going to improve the benchmark of a 14.5? It looks like he will. DRS wide open and across the line, and it's a 1:14.499, and he extends his advantage at the top of the timesheets at the moment. It's provisional pole. You've got Yomir in P9 starting his lap. I'm not sure anybody else is coming in lap. Libanal retires in the pits. Yomir improving slightly. Oh, that looks really, really fast. Improving slightly in the first sector. Let's see if he can take a bit more time in this middle sector, coming over the chicane. That looked really neat and tidy. Still yellow flags being waved. I believe there's a car actually off the track somewhere in sector 1. I'm not sure if they're just getting out of the way or not.
Looks like the car just getting out of the way.
Yeah, I thought so. And it's a shame for Yomi. He was up by 2 tenths, but he's invalidated. It's really, really that easy. So that lap will not count. I wonder what he'll do though. If he's got enough fuel, I don't think at that point you go again, because once you've reached kind of the end of the middle sector, your tyres are probably on around 3%. Yeah, he is going to go again. So he had enough fuel. I think if you invalidate, that's probably the last place you can invalidate to do another lap in terms of the tyres, because I think they do take quite a massive beating in that last sector specifically, especially because the temperatures are through the roof and the car's basically just sliding. Jericho Balgos on his way back into the pit lane. We've got quite a few cars in the pits at the moment. Eat My Dust comes across the line on the mediums and sets a 1:17.2. Lecala also on the mediums. Coutinho looks like he's coming into the pit, so he probably wants absolutely nothing to do in the top 10. We'll follow Yomir on board again as he's coming through the middle sector on the second time round using the curbs. You can see he's probably lost that bite of the soft tyres, a bit more conservative, very risky to try and take all of that curb on the inside, but he does so nonetheless. And let's see what his middle sector time is. He was up 2.5 tenths and he invalidates again. So yeah, you can see that front left is not holding up for him in the middle sector.
He hasn't. He's somehow got away with that, and can be something that could be reprimanded by the stewards with the track extension we've been told to be.
Oh, he hasn't? Wait, what?
About. Yeah, as long as you extend it, the game does give you the benefit of the doubt, which some stewards probably wouldn't. And he comes over the P7, so he does set that up after extending. I'd have to have a look through the steward's report for proof.
Yeah, because I don't know what you do with that, to be honest, because if that's me and I'm on a lap and the game doesn't invalidate it, it's like...
It's tunnel vision, isn't it? You just want to get on with it and finish the lap.
Yeah. You might even think, oh, you just about got away with it, but then again, I guess he was a bit wide there, so... but Massiet coming through the final corner. Is he going to put himself up into the top 10? He's currently in P11 and he goes P4. Interesting. To be honest, that's probably... No, P4 is definitely a good position to start with these soft tyres. I think the danger zone is P8 to P10. I don't think you want to be in those positions whatsoever on the soft tyres. Maybe on the mediums, but certainly not on the softs. And we've got yellow flags being waved in a few positions. Lecala, you can see he's not pushing at all. He's lifting quite a lot around lap. You can tell he doesn't want to start on those soft tyres. And you've got Coutinho and Eat My Dust still in the pit. So the battle for pole is about to commence. You've got King currently in P2 on a 1:14.9, but can he get close to that 1:14.4 set by Jericho Balgos? Just give us about a minute and we will find out. There's a McLaren slowing. I think he's just letting the Ferrari through. So we'll watch King using all the curb on the right hand side and gets the curb on the inside and he spins it. So he will have enough time to burn some fuel and go again. His tyres probably shouldn't have taken too much of a beating.
He needs to get out of the way.
Yeah, because use that's on a lap. Coutinho?
Oh, I hope Coutinho wasn't. He's not on a lap. He is.
No, he's not. No.
Generating battery. Luckily for Kingy, he would have been right in the mix of his lap there. But yeah, it looks like Lecala doesn't really want any bit of the soft tyres. He's done 3 laps on them. So if he was to qualify in the top 10, that would be really strugglesome. But I think Yomi's made a mistake there by continuing his lap. He's on 2 lap old softs now, and if he does stay in the top 10, he is going to be in the most dire position, I think, of the race.
Yeah, that is true. Even yesterday, we were talking about the potential for 2 laps. You'd probably be looking at about 7% tire wear at the moment, or maybe even a bit more, 8 or 9.
No, I believe we was on 5 and 6 after one, so I think it'll be a bit more.
Yeah, so he's probably looking at about 9% tire wear, so you probably wouldn't want to be on those tires. But we'll wait and see whether or not he can either set a faster lap or is knocked out of the top 10. But whilst we do that, we follow Ferret on board, who didn't improve in the first sector, but obviously still got quite a long way to go in the lap. And interesting use of these outside curbs for a few cars. I personally will not be anywhere near them tomorrow, so you will not catch me on any of those kind of sausage curbs that sit around the outside of the track. But nonetheless, we'll watch Ferret going through as he sends it in the middle sector and is improving by 4/10 of a second. So quite a big improvement there from the Ferrari driver. He's going to want to put his Ferrari on the front row of the grid. There's only 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the session. So this is going to be his last lap. And he comes through the final corner, gets slight understeer in the middle of it, but it does look all okay. DRS wide open and across the line, and it's a 1:14.7 for Ferret.
Jericho is looking very fast here because that was a pretty decent lap from Ferret, but he's still just about 2.5 tenths away from the current leader in the Mercedes there. Captain Emery just setting, just being pushed down actually. Patuka and Murphy getting the P4 and 5.
Oof. You've got King on the lap. Is he going to keep it in? Oh, yes, he does. He's up 2/10. So you've got King in P3, just under 3/10 of a second. So will it be enough to challenge Jericho Balgas? He'll need something special in this final sector to put his car on provisional pole. Can the Red Bull driver do it as he swings it in tight? He does hold a good line in that final corner, getting a little bit out of shape under power. He would have lost a bit of time there, but he goes provisional pole.
Wow.
And Jericho Balgas is in the pit. So Jericho's probably thought that is the end of qualifying, and he would have been caught out by that as King has gone onto provisional pole with a late last gasp lap here in qualifying. Only 20 seconds to go. Jericho Balgas still in the pit, so he'll start no higher than second place. You've got his teammate currently coming through the first sector and also improving. I think there's a few people on laps actually. Champ is starting his lap, so Champ's the last person over the line. So still a lot can change at this point in qualifying. We'll stay on board with Captain Emery currently coming through the middle sector as yellow flags are also being waved in sectors 2 and 3, but there should not be an issue for the Mercedes driver that we are currently watching on board as he gets it. Does he get it inbound? Yes, he does, and he's up by 3/10 of a second. This could put him somewhere near the second row if he can make things stick in the final sector. There's quite a few cars coming through the middle sector. There's a Haas that looked like they were off the track there, and obviously that would have been on their lap. So Malberg session over. He won't start any higher than P8. But what can Captain Emery do in the Mercedes as he comes across the line and he goes P4? So it's a 1:15 flat for Captain Emery. Mercedes starting 2 and 4 at the moment. Masiak is also improving by just over 3/10 of a second. It's looking good for the Alfa Romeo driver. Can he keep it sweet and keep the car on the track? Only one more corner to go. You can see his tyres are overheating. As they do around this track. He does keep it nice and clean, gets up to gear 5, is going to open a DRS that looked very, very sweet for Masiak. And what's it going to be? It's a 14.8 for Masiak. Champ always slowed down.
Spun in the penultimate corner there, locked the rears.
And it's probably better he does.
Probably, yeah, he's in a good position here. And that seems to be it. Kingy takes pole by millimetres, even though he made quite a big mistake in the final corner, which is where a lot of the time can be lost. So he's on for a quarter of a lap if he managed to make the exit properly there.
Definitely.
But nevertheless, he's on top. Such a tough track in quali as well. It's so hard to manage your tyres and manage the fuel. You are given about 3.5 laps per run here, so it's quite heavy to be fair. So a bit of empty in the tank to get on your last lap, which I expect a lot of these did. And Kingy takes it just ahead of Jericho, who didn't go out late for his final run.
Actually, I'm thinking maybe Jericho saved a set of the soft tyres because that is around this track probably something smart because of the high chance of a safety car. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't go out.
Jericho only went out for 2 runs, so he will have a separate set of soft, and he's got 2 medium compounds that haven't been touched, whereas King has touched the mediums and put a bit of wear on them. Same with Masiek. Ferret also only doing 2 runs, so him and Jericho have got that fresh set of rubber to go on at the end if there is a late safety car.
Yeah, so it should be interesting in terms of strategy. Obviously, the fact that there are 14 drivers, I'm wondering how, in terms of safety cars, how things will work out. What did Coutinho say? Ferret thumbs up. And to those watching, hello. Leave us a comment and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'm sure Coutinho will be happy as we are now on 905 subscribers. So the road to 1,000 is well and truly on its way. And as you can see, beautiful sunshine. Well, you can't see beautiful sunshine. You can see the pit lane, but there should be beautiful sunshine for the race in store today, which I'm sure will bring us some good racing and good wheel-to-wheel battles. Obviously, you saw King put his car on pole position there. He has used... Actually, would King have used 2 sets of tyres as well then?
No, I believe... oh, yes, King did use also 2 sets of softs.
Yeah.
But his first run was on the medium.
Was on the medium.
Fresh set also.
So tyre strategy quite different in terms of a few of the guys in the top 5. Obviously, you've got the Red Bull on pole position. Realistically, the run down to turn 1 is going to determine a lot. And you can see by tyres, you can see Eat My Dust has actually gone for the hard tyre.
He's the only one, is he? Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me we have seen one.
Yeah, I thought there would have been more, to be honest. Yeah. Because if you start on the hard tyre, obviously, especially with only 4 spaces outside the top 10, you will really open your strategy up quite a lot, because these soft tyres are not going to be fast after about 5 laps. They will fall off. You'll lose maybe about a second, but you see lap by lap, you'll just consistently be losing about 4 to 5 tenths after around lap 5. To be honest, I can't wait to do a bit more practice for this track for tomorrow, because it's so difficult to nail in terms of how much to push in the first stint, and how much time to leave on the table, just obviously purely because you will absolutely kill and overheat your front tyres. And if you do that, you will lose a lot of places very, very quickly. So it's about finding the balance between pushing and conserving your tyres. And that challenge is always quite fun, especially around a track like this where you can't really overtake. So a lot of it is actually about that. Maybe not, so you're not actually driving to the limit, but you're really driving quite just a bit more smarter in terms of when you're turning, when you're pressing the throttle and so on and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out today and obviously tomorrow in F1. But for now, today in F2, as the cars will be now being controlled by the AI and will be lining up on the grid for what is actually a very big opportunity for Jericho Balgos, who is currently, I believe, 40 or so points behind Aldridge, who is not here today. So this is a very big opportunity for the Mercedes man to capitalize and half of what the championship lead currently is at the moment, with still, well, I wouldn't say quite a few races, 5 races to go after this. The gap currently 49 points. So we'll keep what's going on with the lobby.
I should just be getting on with it now. Sometimes it just take a second. For some reason, Eat My Dust has only got... I think we're probably just waiting for someone in the lobby. Hopefully we don't get a restart.
Captain Emery is disconnected, it shows.
Right, okay.
That would be a
P1, apparently, deltas, so.
He's in, what is that, P5 on the track? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
His car is moving a bit for me, bit decent by the looks of it.
Okay, let's see what's happening here. There we go. We've got the lights on the way out. I think everything should be okay. So you've got Jericho on the left and King on the right. And it's lights out and away we go. And it looks like King got a good start. He's actually pulling out to the left. And Jericho Balgos pulls into the slipstream, but he's going to have the Ferrari of Ferret looking up his inside. Is he going to send it and go for the move? He does. And will he get the position? Can he make it stick on the Mercedes, rather? They're going to go wheel to wheel all the way down to turn 3 and they make contact. But you can see that Jericho's still got the inside line. Ferret's going to try his luck around the outside, but he won't hold it. You've got a few cars switching places behind. You've got Masiek, you've got Petuka and Murphy, rather, battling for P6, and they're going to both lose the position to Malberg as the camera switches there, and we lose sight of what is happening at the top of the hill. But you still got the McLaren and the Williams of Champ and Lecala going wheel to wheel. Champ obviously starting on those medium tyres. He has managed to pick up one position from Yomir, and they're going to settle in to positions now as it stands. And we'll have to wait and see if anything can happen in this final sector or when the DRS opens up.
Eat my dust. The only man to start on hards almost managed to make a move on Martino down into the low left-hander in the first sector just after turn 1, but just he doesn't have the grip coming out of the corners to make the charge against the medium fresh rubber.
Oh, and Mercedes off, Captain Emirates round.
Yep.
That's quite unfortunate this early on in the race. I wonder if he made contact there, if we just got a bit too trigger happy on the throttle.
Looks like he's got about 110 degrees on the left rear there, so it's going to be a tough job to get these soft round for the stint now.
Oh, definitely.
Seems to be leveling out though across all positions now. Champ making 2 positions off the start on the mediums with only soft runners ahead of him, so he's made a big jump for his race. We've got Malberg making 3 positions on the softs, which is nice to see. And he's also got quite a bit of a gap between Murphy compared to the drivers ahead, but Masiek has pretty much been dropped already by Ferret de Souza. So the top 3 looking to run away and hopefully keep that second gap and get into the DRS, because it is quite powerful, although it is only one straight around the track. Just going for an undercut or an overcut is so hard when you're out of the DRS range and everyone can just chug along.
Yeah, I think the DRS will be very important. You can see Masiek pushing back for that. He got the gap down to about 9/10 of a second just for a moment there. He'll need to use as much ERS as possible to stay in that DRS zone, because if you do fall out of that, firstly, he'll be a sitting duck to everybody behind him, and he will have a very slim chance at getting on that podium or trying to make something happen with strategy. But if you can see there out in front, you've got Jericho Balgos only 4/10 of a second behind the race leader currently, and he has a little look there under braking. He's going to get DRS on this lap, so be sure to expect Jericho Balgos to put a move on King coming towards the beginning of the next lap, which will be lap 4 at the moment. This is currently the closest battle on the track, so Jericho really flexing his muscles and showing that he has got the pace to take today's victory.
Kingy has actually saved 40% more compared to Jericho.
Oh wow, yeah. Actually,
so,
yeah, you are right.
Maybe Jericho's pace is a bit falsified by his use of his battery.
That is a very good point. We will find out. King doing a very good job there with ERS management. You can see he's probably not touched it actually. And Jericho on 60% ERS at the moment, so he's being quite a lot more aggressive at this phase of the race. Whether or not that will play out as a good thing for him, we will have to see. Ferret's just outside DRS, so he's going to need to push for that. You can see Ferret's also using his ERS, but I don't think he's going to get the DRS on this lap, and that could make a 2-horse race at this point. Only 4/10 separating the front 2. King getting a little bit wide on entry, and you lost time. You can see there by the delta, and Jericho Balgos is going to have the DRS wide open. Is he going to send a move? You can see that even with the DRS, it's not that much. There's not enough straight around here to make that move stick, really, unless you're completely flatlining your ERS and using as much of aggressive late braking as possible. You can see Champ getting through Lecala there, currently on a medium tyre. So Champ is now going to start to pick up places as those on the soft tyres start to scream for help and overheat at a very rapid rate at this point now. You see the next few laps will be something along those lines. So Champ up into P8. It's been a really good start for him. Let's see where he can end up. Having a look back at the top, you can see that King probably just a little bit of ERS on that last lap, but he's still controlling the pace very, very well. If he can manage that gap to around half a second coming out the final corner, he may well and truly be able to hold off Jericho. You can see with just that DRS itself, Ferret's now 2 seconds behind. I think that the front two's pace is probably just a few tenths quicker than those behind. But we'll watch coming into this final sector whether or not Jericho can get within 4 tenths. And you can see King getting a bit, it didn't look too great in the middle of the corner, and he lost a bit of time there once again, but he would have got a good exit as he straightened up the car nicely. But it looks like it'll be another lap behind the Red Bull for Jericho Balgos. But you've got Masiek attacking Ferret in the background. He's going to try and make his way around the outside. Is he going to make it stick though? No, good defense from Ferret, but he got a little bit I don't even know what word I was just looking for. The rear was stepping out a bit, basically.
Yeah, it's such a tricky second DRS straight there, because it's one of the only ones across the calendar where you're still managing to get the grip while turning the DRS on, which is really risky, especially if you're trying to make a move and be a bit aggressive. You've got a full tank of fuel, you're still turning, trying to find traction on those rears, and you open that flap and it can just leave you with no grip. But he's managed to hold it. But it's just Ferret had the better line, better defensive move, and managed to stay ahead. Yeah,
good, really good positioning there from Ferret, and a really good point from Josh in terms of the DRS. When you open that DRS, especially in this point of the race on the soft tires, it could be very easy to spin up the rear. You can also see Jericho's a bit close to King. The gap is just under 3 tenths now, and it looks like he's been finding his way through that final corner a little bit better. He lost a bit of time there, and King might just have enough to stay ahead, but you can see Jericho using some of that ERS, and it looks like he's going to spend another lap staring at the back of that Red Bull, and he had a little look to try and throw King off there, but King very strong in his defense as Masiek and Ferret go wheel to wheel once again. Who's going to get the DRS? Masiek will get the DRS, but Ferret maintains the position. Is he going to try and switch it and go down the inside? No, he tries to hold it around the outside and make a little bit of contact there. Masiek will get the better line going up the hill. Is he going to try and move? As you can see, Ferret is derating. I don't think he will try and move there. That is almost suicide.
No.
And yeah, he does stay behind.
Yeah, it's the better thing to do. Looked like Ferret decided to take a different approach to his defence there, staying on the outside, which did him well. He managed to do what Masiek couldn't. Sometimes it's nicer to be on the outside. You get a quicker chance to get the power down, but sometimes the inside can be a bit better just to get the turn in quicker. But Ferret manages to stay on top again. Jericho just seems to be struggling with the dirty air. I think it's a bit too much for the Mercedes driver, and it's probably not helping the temperatures either. No. Right behind the roaring engine of Red Bull.
So we're just following Libano on board there, Link. I lagged it. Can you hear me?
You did lag then. I'm quite worried.
Yeah, because I saw that the car's got a red cross, but it's all right.
Pits.
Yeah, because Lecala just went off. He just went off the track there in front of Libano. Just completely had absolutely no grip. So him boxing on lap 6, you'll expect to be putting on the hard tires. No moves being made anywhere else on the track. We'll watch the Williams and see what tires he does choose to go. Surely it will be the hards, but also keeping an eye out for what laps people are aiming for in terms of the he's gone for the mediums.
That's going to be tough. Very, very tough.
Maybe he's banking on a safety car.
Maybe. I mean, I wonder if I'm not too clued up on the strategy. I haven't had much time to practice myself, but I don't know. Maybe they can go to the end, but they'll 100% die towards the end of the stint.
Yeah,
100%. That's all we can guarantee.
I'll be 28 laps on the mediums. I guess we'll find out whether or not that is a possibility. You still got King and Jericho nose to tail, and yeah, I think you're right about the dirty air, because especially around this track, oh god, it's an absolute terror in terms of keeping everything under control. So I wonder if
big correction there. He's on the medium tyres, and he was struggling around the fast right-hander behind his teammate Murphy, who I'm hoping, well, he's probably hoping to let him through soon, being on the better tyre, but he just had a massive moment through the penultimate corner there, just saving it, locking the rears exactly like he did in qualifying. There's a move being made there, I think, just ahead with Ferret and Masiek, the third time running. It's the third round of the race that they've been going side to side for that corner, but Masiek finally makes the move.
Yeah, it looks like Ferret's struggling a little bit on those softs. You've also got Champ currently in P6, running only around 6 seconds behind the leaders. Let me actually find out the actual gap. Yeah, 7.3 seconds behind the leaders on those medium tires. So I wonder when his teammate will jump out of his way, because as I'm sure you can tell, he's probably a lot faster at this point in the race. You've got a few drivers who pit for the hard tires. Captain Emery came in and put on a set of mediums. So 2 drivers choosing to go for the mediums in this early phase of the race. Whether or not that will pay dividends, we will obviously find out a bit later on. Currently, still all 14 drivers still running, which is really, really good for a track of such high detriment. And Jericho Balgos is in the pits. So Jericho has gone for the undercut, and he's coming into the box. But what tyres is he going to put on, though? We'll have to wait and see.
From what we saw yesterday in practice, I think it is going to be the mediums, and yes, it is the yellow stripe tyre. He's gone in a bit later than some of the other drivers we've seen, but I think the people pitting earlier have got a lot less to lose, so I think the risk is there. But it's quite early for Jericho, but I think this is the time you want to be putting him on. I think any more time on them softs is just going to lose you too much time on the end of the car.
King just had to come off the power in the middle of what was that, turn 4? Just as you're coming up the hill, he's surely going to be undercut quite significantly. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. So Jericho Balgos choosing the incentive there and wanting the track position. You can see King is struggling so much on these soft tyres as Champ and Murphy switch places and they make contact. The McLarens make contact, and that's going to give Yomir at least one position. The McLarens were fighting. Murphy, who's on old soft tyres, him and Champ made contact. I'm not sure if there was damage there. It looked like there was a little bit of debris flailing around. I'm not sure if there'll be maybe light damage for Murphy on the front wing. I'm not sure how that has happened, but Champ has gone for the position.
Champ had gone for the position into the braking on the inside.
Got damage, yeah.
He'd taken the corner, and he just lost the rear again. He's locked the rears again. And just Murphy just drove into the back of him. Really unfortunate. Luckily for Yomir, he managed to zigzag his way through the debris and the 2 McLarens. But yeah.
And King's continued round also, which is interesting to say the least. Not really sure what he'd be waiting for.
Yeah, I'd expect him to get undercut by at least 3 seconds. I'd say, at least.
Yeah, I think it could even be more than that. I think if we don't pit on that lap 10 right now, if we go back to follow King on board, which who's obviously the current race leader, Jericho pits for the undercut on lap 8, so he will obviously have older tyres. King is probably banking on those mediums not lasting very, very long, but at the same time, I don't think if you're not close enough to really apply pressure, then it's going to be difficult around a track like this to catch and overtake. So we'll see. He's still not using much of his ERS either, but he's not going particularly fast. You see by his middle sector, he's down by 1 second. Something that may help him out is the fact that Jericho Balgos is about to catch Eat My Dust, who's on the hard tyres, and will not be looking to pit anytime soon. So if he does find trouble getting past him, you can see he's rocking up behind him now in the middle sector. If he does find trouble trying to get past, then this could play into King's hand, who goes around again. Wow.
Yeah, he's really playing the long game here to make the move in the final laps of the race. But I think he's just caught Eat My Dust. This is Jericho, I believe. He's just caught him late enough that he's close enough to make the move on the main straight and then get away.
Eat My Dust actually goes a little bit defensive there.
A bit defensive there, yeah.
But it should be a fairly easy move for Jericho, as you can see. Yep, very, very easy move. With the DRS wide open and the new medium tyres. So Jericho Balgos currently now only 16.2 seconds behind the race leader. We'll watch how that closes up in this next lap. Don't be surprised if the gap's down to around 14 seconds, but we will see. Closer battles on track at the moment. You've got Woutinho coming up to the back of Yomir, who obviously capitalised on the McLarens having a disaster there, making contact with each other. You've also got Champ only 3 tenths behind Ferret as well on those medium tyres. So really, if they wanted to switch the strategy right now, they could do that. And that's the thing with these medium tyres. They really, really do open up the strategy quite considerably.
Yeah, it really does. But I think Champ is really eager to make the move now. But Ferret is derating, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see him jump into the right-hand side of the pit lane. I think it would be in his best interest. As Kingy does come in for his stop onto the mediums, let's see what the gap is between him and Jericho. 16 seconds, you said. I expect that to be 15 since you said that, at least.
14 and a half.
14 and a half, yeah.
And it's coming down more and more, yeah.
yeah, I think he's jumped in by quite the margin, yeah. But it's an extra few laps of freshness for sorry, what is his name, King. So I think it's going to be a late chance for King to come back, but overtaking just so strugglesome. I don't even think a few laps is going to be the difference.
Yeah, the gap is about, what's that, 3, 4, about 5.2 seconds. That's quite a gap. So what we're looking for then for Jericho will be a very massive clip. And you can see Jericho's also been eating up his ERS. Wow, he's on 17% of ERS, really pushing to get that gap on the undercut. He knows that come later on in this race, his tyres are not going to be looking in very good condition compared to King. So he was trying to pull out as big a gap as possible. Still a very long way to go in this race. You've not actually reached half distance as of yet. So a lot can still happen. Quite a few consistent gaps out on the track at the moment. You've got Masiek on the back of Patuka, currently both on different tyres, choosing to run this race in different ways. Again, in terms of which one is the best, I genuinely don't know. This is also giving me that information in terms of how long the medium tyres can last in a good way. Because I hate the hard tyres, I always have. I don't really want to run them. But around the track like this with such high degradation and high temperatures, it is difficult to not run the hard tyres.
Now pushing to make the move on Eat My Dust, repay the favour that he was given to Jericho, but he can't make it actually. But he's right on the coattails of his sister team.
Is he going to send it?
He's going to take it down the inside, looks like it, yeah.
Oh, they make contact, but that's okay.
Contact. Yeah, he's made a bit more work of it than Jericho did, but I think he was a bit further back, so obviously it was a bit harder to do, and those hards are probably lightened up a bit.
Yeah.
They usually do after a few laps. It takes a bit of a while to get them firing, but Patuka derating now with Masiek on his back, the sister team to the Ferrari, such as the Red Bull and AlphaTauri.
Oh my god. Yeah, so has Yomi got a puncture? Yomi is struggling so much that he actually got overtaken in the middle sector, which is something that is almost impossible. But he's 2.5 seconds down on time here on lap 13. I wonder why people are trying to extend it so long. Maybe they just don't trust the medium tyres.
I mean, all it takes is a safety car and you've gained a massive amount. But he is going to come in now. Can I just say, Kingy's ERS is absolutely king to his rivals at the moment. And we've got Libba now, who's struggling to even get above 10. I know saving ERS around this track is strugglesome at the best, and at its worst is absolute hell. Similar to other street tracks like Singapore. Even though this isn't a street track, it does feel like it when you're trying to save the ERS. You're on 11-11 wings for the majority of the drivers. Some will be risking it with lower rear, I expect. But you break in for so little because of how much downforce you have, how much grip to the ground you have into braking, that you're not getting any friction into the brakes, and you're not regenerating any of that battery.
Interestingly enough, King has closed the gap by about a second on the last lap.
Yeah.
So
it looks like he's going to be able to come fight back. It depends where Jericho falls into traffic, which I think he's going to. What are the tyres for the top three?
Mediums.
Mediums, so they're going to be extending for quite a while now. So this is genuine competition for Jericho now to pass through. And Kingy spun it!
Oh no! Oh my god, no!
He's locked the rears at the penultimate corner, and he's gone off the grass. No damage, luckily for him, but he has just absolutely lost it.
Commentator's curse is so real. Oh, and he's lost it again.
He's gone too aggressive.
No.
He's absolutely dropped the ball there. He had the best strategy by the looks of it. The best ERS management. He was looking to do it all today. Get the full regard when it comes to a pole lap. Probably fastest lap and winning it, but that looks very far over the hill now for his race.
Yeah, Jericho breathes a massive sigh of relief. Oh, yeah, his tyres will be cooked completely. You see, those rear tyres especially will be very hot. He needs to try and bring them down to temperature as nicely as possible. That's a big shame because he had quite a lot of pace there. You saw how much time he took out of Jericho just on those 2 laps that he'd done on the medium tyres. But unfortunately, he finds himself now down in P12 and a very, very long way excuse me, behind his rival, who's actually now in the final sector.
Yeah, absolute bedlam for Jericho. He might not even be too aware of it, but it's definitely a big hit for King. I don't see him coming anywhere near the top 3 now unless he gets blessed with a safety car and can come back. He hasn't got a penalty, but I believe he does have a warning or 2. I've seen him extend once or twice, which look to be open shut cases. But yeah, very unfortunate for him. Champ living out with Coutinho, the only one to stay out so far. Well, including Eat My Dust, but he hasn't really got that far with the hards. Champ seems to be the best of the medium runners. He was the top to start on the mediums in P11. Seems to be managing pretty well now after the few initial mistakes for qualifying and the opening laps. But Coutinho just not managing to keep up with Libanow in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin not able to keep up with Champ either. But he's so close to that DRS range. If he could get closer, it could just make the most difference in his race. Managing to chug each other along away from the rest of the competition. But yeah, Jericho is in a really prime position at the moment. Only 2 tenths away from Coutinho in the last sector. It looks like he's going to try. He's taking a look there into a corner where you can send it, but the exit's pretty rough to go side by side and get a decent exit out of this corner. But he's coming around very close now. It looks like a guaranteed move to be made onto the main straight. He takes a wider entry than Coutinho just to get on the throttle a bit quicker. But to be fair, Coutinho on the older tyres has got a pretty good run out of there, considering double the tyre wealth. But yeah, he's just got no ERS. He brakes later than him and manages to hold the position. And he's even got a better exit than him out of the first corner. But Jericho's got the DRS and the power and the fresher tyres and pushes it down the inside.
Coutinho's keeping his car in there, though.
He's pushing him again. He hasn't really been forced off there. That's just Jericho being a bit too careful. But Coutinho's kept the position.
Wow, that was really good defending there. Yeah, certainly. And actually, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but Michalizzi says that Jericho crossed the pit lane entry on lap 8, and he has a 5-second time penalty. So
does he?
Yeah, so apparently he's crossed the pit lane entry, and apparently the stream caught it as well. So
and we've got a steward live. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So he's giving us the live penalty information.
For how long have we wanted live stewarding? We finally got it with Michalizzi in the commentary.
So nice one for that, Miku. So yeah, I guess we'll factor that into our minds as the race goes on. Coutinho still managing to stay in front here as Champ comes into the pits. What tyres is he going to go for? Hards.
Champ was on the medium, so it looks like he's going to be going to the softs now.
Surely not.
I know he's got hards.
And Jericho sends the dummy and goes up the inside. That should be job done. I don't think Coutinho will be able to come back from this one, but you can see he got a better exit.
But it just had a bit of contact with the opposite side of Jericho's wheel there.
Oh, was he going to send it? Oh my goodness gracious me. Wow, very aggressive there.
Down today.
Not at all. Wow. So really good stuff for Coutinho. Interesting that Champ's gone for the hards. But I guess you probably would with the mediums because you probably lose less time that way. Because obviously if you're really going to extend it to go to the softs, the last few laps on that medium stint probably won't be very generous to you. So interesting that he's chosen to go for the hards on lap 18. Watch out for that.
I expect that he's gone for the hards as the seconds. Obviously, he had free choice, so
yeah,
he could choose whether to start on hard or medium. But I expect his thinking pattern would to be start on the hards. Yes, you can be on the worst tyre when you've got the most fuel, get the most out of the mediums at the end. But I think he's probably thinking about the DRS trains and how much easier it would be to start on the mediums, get a good run off the line, and keep with the soft runners for the first few laps until they die off, which would have been a lot harder of a job on the hards in the first stint, as we've seen with Eat My Dust, who is not pitted yet and is 6th on track.
Oh yes, Eat My Dust still yet to pit on the hard tyres. He's lapping within a 10th of his personal best, so and he's actually getting overtaken by Ferret as we speak, and I did not see that. Ferret making a move up the inside with the DRS. He'll get the second dose and pull away. But yeah, Eat My Dust lapping within the 10th of his personal best here on lap 19, which is good information. He could really come into the pits whenever he wants now for those medium tyres and look to a stretch or see what type of advantage he has, but he probably wouldn't actually want to do that yet. He probably want to create a bigger offset in the tyres. But so what are we looking at in terms of a race victory? Because Jericho Balgos is going to have to take these tyres another 16 laps, which would put him on 25 laps in terms of the medium tyres. Can they do 25 laps?
I expect they can, but I've just had confirmation from the F2 steward, and he has already received his 5-second penalty, so it is set in stone. Jericho is 3.2 seconds away from Libanow, but technically he's got another 5 to add to that time at the end of the race.
Interesting stuff.
So it opens the doors for other drivers, but I'm not too sure who else is in the run. And we've got Masiek only on 9 laps on those mediums, and he's not that far away from the front of the grid. He's looking really good, but yeah, it's going to be tough. Libanow, Watinho extending their run, while Champ has bit the bullet and got onto the harder compound. Looks like Libanow and Watinho are trying to go to the softs, which will be good at the end, but I think with the traffic you're just going to burn them out. You're going to be on lower fuel, but we've seen in qualifying, even with the lowest of fuel, those tyres still do overheat, never mind being behind someone's roaring engine.
And so Champ's now, well, he's 17 seconds behind the leaders, so once they pit, he'll be ahead. So looking at where he could end up on these tyres, you'd expect that he will catch and pass Malberg, as he's on a lot younger hard tyres. You could be looking at a potential podium for Champ if he has got the right amount of pace. You can see he saved up quite a good amount of his ERS. We've got Captain Emre, I believe, about to be lapped by his team. No, he has been lapped. So Captain Emre has been lapped by his teammate King. I'm not sure, is King still in the session at the moment?
No, King has just left. He's just said that his internet has conked out. Oh, no, that was Emre, sorry. His internet had died at the start of the race, but I believe King has just left on his own regard. Probably not very happy with how his race has turned out after being so promising in the first half of the race.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for the Red Bull driver. We're settling into a phase of the race which generally does come around Hungary, so everybody just minding their own business, setting their own lap times. But as the tyres start to degrade at very different rates, as you can see, just looking at the chart on the left, I don't think we've got one car that actually pit on the same lap. You've got Malberg and Patuka. Besides that, everybody else has got some type of offset on the tyres. So this should come into play in the late stages of the race. Obviously, the key one to look out for, Jericho Balgos, who's the net race leader. He actually hasn't been able to make too much of an impression on Libanow, which would make me think that his tyres aren't in the best of shape at the moment.
Libanow, 21 laps, the longest stint of this race, just ahead of Eat My Dust, who is now pitting. So it is going to be the largest stint of the race, and he's doing really well to hold his times there. I wonder if that's Libanow holding a very great pace, or Jericho just dropping off and not getting too comfortable with the mediums. We'll have to see. But Masiek, 11 lap olds, he's not doing too bad. He has lost touch with Jericho a bit. Watinho on 21 also, sorry. So he's been doing the same strategy as his friend Libanow. We got Ferret on 9 laps, who is slowly creeping up. Who he is just overtaken, by the way. I think we just missed it. He's just overtaken Patuka on the hards, which are 13 laps old. Obviously, he was one of the earlier ones to pit, so he's going all the way to the end now. Lacal out with a 3-second penalty. That is the second one today. And yeah, he's just racing on his own at the moment.
I was going to say there, so in terms of Libanow's pace, I think he has actually got a pretty good pace. Just riding on board with him through the first sector, he was actually lapping within 4,000ths of his personal best in the first sector. Let's see what his lap time is now. So it's only 3/10 off his personal best here on lap 23. Jericho's taken maybe about half a second to 7/10 out of him on that last lap. So Jericho's tyres are in a lot better shape now, as I'm sure you would imagine. Masiek only 4.3 seconds behind Jericho actually. So that will be something to keep an eye out on. Obviously, taking into account that Jericho has got a 3-second time penalty. As Champ and Malberg are switching places, and Champ gets the position, it's up into P7 on those newer hard tyres. So yeah, if Jericho can't pull away from Masiek, then it should be a very interesting finish to the race. And it also does look like Libernal and Coutinho are looking for those soft tyres in the last stint.
Yeah, it does look like that, but I think they're going to lose too much for it to be too much of a game changer at the end. You're going to have a lot of traffic. It seems to be, if we have a look at the leader interval instead of just between each driver, all the way down to about 9th is where they come out. They come out around about 10th or 9th, and it's going to be hard to push back up. They are going to have a massive tyre advantage, that's no doubt, but it depends where you catch the drivers who are on those all the tyres. If you catch them early in sector 1, it's a lot of time you're going to lose. You really need to periodically catch each other in the last sectors for you to be able to get through with the least amount of time lost. So it's definitely going to be tough, but I mean, we haven't had a big incident yet, so a safety car could absolutely be a game changer for Lundell.
Oh yeah.
And we make a move here with Yomir going up the inside of Malbik. Malbik's trying to hang it around the outside, which he does for the most part. He's got a good exit. They're about half and half now, but with a DRS, Yomir stays ahead. But he's forcing himself down the inside there, the Haas, and he gets the first phase of the overtake okay, but he just can't get the exit. But no chance he's going for a move up in the turn 4.
Yeah,
as
absolutely
any wise
not.
man would. Well, as any stupid man would, to be honest. I don't think anyone wants to send a move up there, but nice defending there from Yomir.
So how's this going to play out then? Because you've got Jericho on 14-lap old mediums, and you've got Ferret in P5. He's around, he's about 10 seconds or 9 seconds off Jericho, but he's got 3-lap younger mediums, and it may seem like a small difference, but it is a difference nonetheless, and it could well play into his hands. Obviously, again, Jericho has got a 5-second time penalty, so let's actually say that Ferret's around 5 seconds behind Jericho.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see when this does play out. I'm assuming Libernal and Coutinho will be looking to come into the pits on this lap, as I'm sure they could take those soft tyres 10 laps or 9 laps to the end even.
Yeah, I think they need to make the decision now. I think any later than this, they're going to lose way too much than they already have. It's definitely a gamble going all the way on these mediums from the start, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We don't know. Maybe we're out of our depth and we just don't know.
Yeah.
These softs are going to absolutely tear through the grid. But I think with the dirt year and how easy it is to heat the tyres up and overcook them, I think it's going to be a real struggle for the late soft runners to grind through back to the top.
Yeah, without new softs, I don't think it's possible. I believe they would have new soft tyres because Coutinho started outside the top 10. I'm not sure what Libernal started.
Coutinho also went out for a medium run at the start, which I believe Libernal did too.
Yeah,
so
Libernal started P13.
Libernal does go in. Coutinho stays out. Big loss there, I think, for him. He's had an amazing race so far with the defending. Absolutely biblical, to be fair to him. But he looks like he's going to get overtaken by Ferret here on the medium, fresher tyres. Ferret doesn't really commit to it, but a lovely switchback. But I don't think he's going to have the exit, though. Just like Coutinho did in the first stage of the race, defending like a lion, as we've seen here before against your favourite driver.
Yeah. Ferret's derating. He's at the bottom end of his battery, so he will find it difficult to overtake. Libernal's gone for the soft, so we have to keep a very close eye on Libernal. He's actually up into P9, so very good drive from him so far, choosing to go for the alternate strategy. And he's now on the softer compound tyres, which are obviously a lot younger than everybody else ahead of him. So let's see how much progress he can make in the next 4 laps to get himself a bit higher up into the points. It's going to have to be aggressive from him, but I'm sure he is well and truly capable of doing it. You've still got Ferret on the back of Coutinho, who I'm assuming would expect to dive into the pits on this lap.
Jericho looks to be maybe he can actually take himself out of that penalty range and still take the win home somehow. He's dropping Maciek a little bit. He's lost about 2/10 in the last sector there. Even though he is on the older tyres, Tino stays out again. I mean,
he's going to come under pressure.
Yeah, he is. He's got Ferret on the outside, just like he did in the lap before. Ferret commits to it a bit more and stays on the outside. He's got the DRS. He gets a bit wobbly there. Don't know if that was a curb or human error. What has he done there? He's lost the car. He's had a bit of a speed wobble behind the car, not knowing which way to go. Oh, and that was a really risky rejoin there. Well, not technically a rejoin, but he's just so slow on such a fast track that could have really ended it badly for Champ or Yolmir, but that is really taking him out of his race. He has got damage, so I think that's podium out of the window for him.
Yes, it's a bit of a shame. I think so. What's happened is he's tried to go for the switchback, but he's lost it. His DRS is open. He's lost control of the rear, and that's shaking himself into the wall. Libba now is only a tenth behind Malberg. He took like 2 seconds out of him. You can see the speed difference. Is he going to send it up the inside? I'd be surprised if he doesn't. And yes, he does. With those soft tyres, he's going to make that move stick. Libba now is flying at the moment. The gap now to Yolme is 2.6 seconds. He really does need to get on with it because those soft tyres will not be there for much longer. Coutinho comes into the box and he's going to put on a new set of soft tyres for himself. Yeah, he's very, very close actually. So what position? So Libba now, could he get onto the podium? He may well could. If his tyres hold on for long enough, he could be looking at a podium here.
I think maybe P3. I think P1 and 2 are pretty seconds at the moment. Maciek is now gaining time on Jericho, unlike the last 2 laps. So it looks like Maciek could be going on for a win. I believe. Has Maciek ever won in F2?
I don't believe so.
I remember racing with Maciek in F3 a few seasons ago. I'm not too sure if I've ever seen him win a race. So I think this might be his chance. And the crazy thing is, Maciek probably has no clue about Jericho's 5 second
I don't think he
penalty.
will.
So if he thinks that he can't catch Jericho and the tyres are getting a bit old, maybe I'll just lift off and coast around and stay ahead of the 2 car and just guarantee my position.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we'll see. He looks to be driving at a pretty fine rate here, so hopefully that isn't the case.
Yeah, he'll see the gap closing. He has got younger tyres as well, so you see the gap coming down. So hopefully that's enough motivation for him to at least keep his foot to the floor. But Libernal's there you go. Libernal's done the fastest lap of the race there, and he's got a pool of cars up ahead of him. Yeah, he's been shattering his ERS. To be honest, I think he does have to a little bit because, again, these tyres will die, but you'll blink and they'll be dead. So you just got to use absolutely everything that's in them. Coutinho somehow finds himself down in P12. I'm not sure how that's happened because I don't think he was too far behind him.
Inside there. Wow, he's actually made that stick. That didn't look like the nicest entrance, but he's made a move there.
Oh yeah, he's got a bit of traffic. He's going to try and make his way around the outside. He's gone very, very wide, but those soft tyres will hold up and he gets the position done. So Coutinho, all of those on the soft tyres now, currently trying to send it as much as possible, and sending it they are doing. Will Libba now lick the stamp and send it and put himself on the podium. He's got a few drivers up ahead of him. There's yellow flags and there's a spinner. Is there going to be anything coming out?
No damage by the looks of it, just a spinner, which is what we've seen throughout the race here. Is Ria's really risky there. So
Libba been DRS.
He is. Wow.
But DRS train incoming.
Yeah, but I think in that first sector.
Ooh, Champ got out of shape there. He's going to come under pressure from Yolme. So this could help Libba now. Watch this on board Libba now. Champ D-rating. He's going defensive. Keep this McLaren in the middle of the track. He's going to break late and try and make his way around the outside. Is he going to keep the position? Yes, he is. They're both going to get DRS. Another yellow flag. I believe that's the Lecala who's probably having some issues with temperatures. And you can see Yolme and Champ banging wheels. Can Yolme keep his front wing in there? No, he can't. But this could play into Libbanal's hands now. He's right on the rear of this pair. He's using that ERS. Is he going to try? No, he's definitely not going to try and make a move. So he'll follow through the middle sectors. Ferret does the fastest lap. But Patuk on the podium is just, you can see he's just in sight for Libbanal. Very late on the brakes, almost going into his rear. Fortunately, he kept it just far enough away from the Alpine to avoid damage. The gap out in front now is 2.9 seconds. I'm wondering if Jericho, all that pushing that he did at the start of this stint is coming back to haunt him. If you remember, he was using up all of his ERS, obviously, to try and get the gap to King, who unfortunately spun out and is now running down in P11. But the gap now out in front, 3 seconds. That's come down from about 4.5 seconds about 5 laps ago. So Massiek really showing he's got the pace. And Yomir and Champ really struggling at the moment on those tyres. Will Libernau be able to capitalise on the back straight? He's got a good exit and he's going to get the DRS and the ERS now fully deployed. Yomir goes a bit defensive though. Is Libernau going to think to send it? He probably won't very deep on the brakes though. And he does get alongside the Alpine, but I don't think he'll have enough.
I mean, I'm just sat here looking at the rear view of Patuka, which maybe you can show the stream, and it just looks like he's running away from the inevitable at the moment. On those 22 lap all hards, he's gone a very long stint.
Oh wow, yeah.
But he's just got the 3 Musketeers behind him, just chasing him down.
Yellow flags.
Everyone trying to take a position.
Is that the colour again? Yes, it is.
It does look like it, yeah. It is, yeah. Just agitated driving there on the warm softs with a poor temperature. And he's almost got in the way of another driver there, which is not what we like to see, but unlucky for him that he's had such a spin. But yeah, this fight for the last podium position is looking pretty mental, and Patuka has actually dropped him for a second, but I think F1 Champ has got the tyres to push.
Libernau's going to send it, he's going to go up the inside. Oh wow, they almost made contact there. That was so close. You could see Libernau landing it up from a little bit earlier on in the middle sector. Going for the ERS, he needs to do something as there's yellow flags again. He needs to do something as the DRS train will probably not allow him to get close enough, as Yomir is going to go defensive again, actually pulling out of the slipstream. But Libernau is too far behind, and I think these soft tyres, he would have used the real crux of that grip that they give. So he's going to have to get experimental and try and make something happen. Otherwise, it will not be anything more than P6. Only 3 laps to go. The gap out in front, 2.5 seconds. And somebody spun. Is that Massiek? No, Massiek spun. He's lost his wing.
Oh, this is absolutely detrimental to the Alfa Romeo.
Oh, and he's come back on the Champ. Patuka's almost gone into his rear. Champ might make contact with him as well. Yomir's going to lose time. Is Libernau going to be able to capitalise on what's going on? He's going to send it up the inside, and he gets the position.
What a move from Libernau, but Massiek.
Oh, God, no.
That is horrible for him.
I know he has...
Oh, you lagged there a bit, you alright?
That came out. I know he has no idea what's just happened as well in terms of...
got a penalty!
Yeah, they both went wide there as well, but Champ has picked up... There's yellow flags again in the middle sector. Let's eat my dust. Is he out of this? Is he out? No, he's not out.
No, I don't believe he's out. No, he's just getting back on the track now. But Libernau is on P3 at the moment, and Patuka's on 23 lap old hards.
Champ is struggling as well. They're both struggling. You can see they're on the rear. They've been losing the rear quite a lot in the last couple of laps, but they're all derating. None of them have got enough ERS. For Massiek, though, that is utterly heartbreaking. I know he has absolutely no idea that Jericho had a 5-second penalty either. It's such a shame because he could potentially have his first race win here in ERF2, as far as I'm aware, that is. But what that does now is that brings us a brilliant fight. As Libernau's used a bit of his ERS off that corner, he tried to put a bit of pressure on Champ. Somebody here, I believe, is going to buckle because none of these guys' tyres are in very good shape. But who it's going to be, I have no idea. There's 2 podium places up for grabs at the moment, and there's 4 cars vying for all of them, running nose to tail through the middle sector. Absolutely. These tyres of Libernau won't last too much longer. Eat my dust with tyres in the pits. Patuka going wide. They're all struggling at the moment, but Libernau probably looks like the person with the most incentive to make something happen. He's going to use his ERS. Is he going to send it up the inside of the McLaren? He brakes later, but he just has a little look. This could put him in a little bit of danger from Yomir, the Alpine behind. Patuka might pick up DRS from that stricken Mercedes there. I think he will. And Champ not getting the best entrance to the corner, but now they all have DRS. So this looks like it's going to go down to the last lap.
Yeah, Captain Emre really helping out the Ferrari driver there, especially with only 2 laps to go. It really only gives them 1 chance on the main straight to do.
Have a look at Libernau though. Champ has to go defensive. Is he going to try and send it up the inside? No, he's trying to throw Champ off his line, but smartly he doesn't put his nose where, if he did put it there, he'd be round. But Libernal really the aggressor at the moment on the 7-lap old soft tyres, and there is only one more lap to go. We'll follow this on board Yome, who's currently running in P5, and Patuka going wide. You can see that he's struggling. 25 laps he's been on those hard tyres, so you can see he's going to lack quite a lot of grip in this middle sector. But who is going to end up on the podium? Again, we have no idea. We're about to find out. It could be explosive coming into turn 1, as Patuka will not have the DRS, and they are all D-rating at the moment.
This is intense. Yolmir could be here to ruin the party for someone. He has got a penalty also, but just him being there adds major risk to someone like Patuka or Libernau.
Ooh, Champ's right on his rear.
Yeah, Libernau's tyres are going to start to burn out now.
We could have 3 wides. We could have 3 wide going on to turn 1. You can see that Patuka, he's surely going to lose that position. There's absolutely no way he'll be able to hold back. Champ with the DRS, and you can see Patuka goes defensive. Champ goes up to the inside. Is Libernau going to have a little sniff up the inside himself? You can see he's going to try and get past Patuka. Is he going to take the final podium position? He's got the slipstream on Champ. Patuka trying to bottle him in. He's going to keep it up the inside. The Ferrari driver, he keeps it there, and they make a little bit of contact. But fortunately, he keeps the car straight. And Murphy's out of this session on the last lap. He spun out coming out of the final corner. It looks like that could be all she wrote, as Yomir was trying to look for a move around the outside of Patuka himself. But Libernau may well have just sealed that last position on the podium. Champ has got a penalty though, so that could all change, or it should all change. I'm not sure what penalty is. I think you got the 3-second time penalty. So, but Patuka's not looking particularly quick at the moment. I wonder if Champ could get a gap. I don't think he can though.
I don't believe he can. Libernau has got about 2 corners to come up, and Champ, we have seen, has been struggling in these last 2 corners. So I don't think Libernau's got anything to worry about here.
Yomi's got a penalty.
He's just going to coast around. Yomi gets another one, and he spun it.
Oh.
I don't think it's going to make too much difference to his race anyway. But still not nice to see on the last race. Last lap. The Jericho wins. Champ P2 provisionally, but Libernau takes the P2 after an absolutely courageous race without any safety cars. He's managed to put himself into P2 from P11 on the Ulner strategy with an absolute corker of a soft stint. So well done to him. Patuka taking P3 on a massive stint also with 27 lap hards, 26 on mediums for Jericho. So nice to see the top 3 on all separate strategies.
Yeah.
How crazy was that?
Wow.
So I think that is one of the best races I've probably watched.
Yeah, I was going to say, in terms of the way it all played out, I knew that there was going to be something, just because of the fact that there were so many different drivers on different strategies, whether or not it was tyres or just the laps that they pitted. So congratulations to Jericho. I wouldn't say you got away with one, because at the end of the day, to win the race, you got to cross the line first. But King had looked like he was in a great position to take a victory, and then Masiek also there at the end, but unfortunately he spun out and hit the barrier, lost his front wing. So only 2 points for Masiek. But Jericho Balgos now halves the gap in the championship to Aldridge. So Aldridge, who may be back next week, I'm not too sure, but Jericho has taken a massive chunk out of his championship lead, and most certainly revives his championship chase with 5 races remaining here. Libernau by far easily the driver of the day, starting P13 and really having an amazing medium stint, to put it lightly, actually, to keep himself in play for when he put the soft tyres on, where he absolutely sent it and has put himself on the second place. Patuka rounding out the podium in third. Unfortunately for Champ, 3-second time penalty taken late in the race has knocked him off the podium. Malberg P5. Coutinho also with a good race, starting P12 and finishing P6. Yomir, Ferret, Masiek and King rounding out the top 10.
Just brilliant race all round. To be fair, we weren't expecting too much going into it. It's Hungary. It's a tough track to race against. Only 14 drivers today, with a few people out of the running. But my God, that was probably one of my favourite commentary gigs. I'm glad I could step in for Luke.
Yeah, we love to hear it. I'm not sure. Do they want to do press conference? I don't know.
I thought it was done, to be honest.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I just saw.
Let's ask, because I'm sure Adam would love to jump into
the
Atlantic. Jericho at 11 hour.
%56%. Wait, what? On the mediums? Actually,
Yeah.
I'll ask them these questions. All right, let me get them in.
There.
Adam's going to join, so let me add him to the party.
Yeah. Okay, it'll be
I don't
easy
think
if you
Pachuca usually joins press conferences, so. Right.
Yeah, Jericho and Adam. Let's see if I can invite them quick. Have you got Jericho? Should I add him?
I haven't got Jericho, no, I don't believe.
Alright, I think I got him. Now time to take my information for tomorrow's race.
Yeah.
Have you oh no, there we go.
I'm interested with we'll save it for when he gets in the party, but what Adam just said about his tire wear is
Yeah. Definitely. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, cool. We'll wait for Libanon.
Yeah, probably go back to front. Yeah, so Pachuca won't be attending, but here he is, P2. You there?
Hello, boys.
Hello.
What's up?
How was that?
This was probably the best race of my life.
Probably. I think so. Absolute mega stint, mate.
I had 56% tire wear
Is that on the mediums?
on mediums, yeah.
That's interesting, that. I would have thought it'd be a bit more.
And I had personal best lap times since like lap 17 till my pit stop.
Did you
Yeah,
end
that's
up taking
something I
first as well?
noticed.
No,
Nah,
I
I think
didn't.
someone took
Ferret
it.
take
Someone
it.
picked for the someone picked for the softs a
Ferret
bit
took
later.
it, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate, absolute corker. So you did how many laps on the mediums? It was like 25, right?
25, yeah. 25
exactly. How was you feeling from the start of the race off the line? What was you
Off the
expecting from
line,
today?
I expected, honestly, 1 or 2 points.
Wow.
I didn't feel comfortable at all before the race. Then at like lap 7 or 8, medium started to work. And it clicked. And I don't know how I managed to do this
Yeah.
first stint.
Doesn't matter how you did it. I mean, it just matters that you did it and you got P2. It was looking really rough at the end. You had the two hard runners ahead of you.
Yeah.
Probably a bit tough to get past them. You were obviously low on DRS, but I think everyone else around you were as well. So it was literally just a race on tires and a race on skill.
Yeah.
So how did you feel going against Pachuca champ and Yomir?
Honestly,
Stressful?
I was extremely scared.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen because of the tire advantage. I had so much overspeed, I had much more grip in the corners than them. And the track is so narrow that you cannot overtake almost anywhere. I tried like 2 risky moves, but then I backed out.
Yeah, we did see.
Yeah, we got those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a corner where into braking you can make it, but when you get to the point where you're turning in, they can close in on you if you're on the inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, well done.
When I saw Petuka in front of Champ, like giving him DRS, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to get past them.
Well, there was one point where Petuka was given DRS from a back marker, which could have
Captain Emery.
Yeah, could have gone bad for you, but you managed to stay out the penalty. So did Petuka, to be fair to him. But I just think the strategy, you just nailed it today.
Yeah, I'd say especially your pace, because it's something I noted in the stream when I went on board with you, maybe lap 23, 4, 5. I could see you were only lapping within a few tenths of your personal best, which was a little bit surprising. Obviously, I know you'd been on the tyres for a long time. But were you expecting that sort of pace in terms of your out-and-out race pace on the medium tyres, or did that take you by surprise?
No, absolutely not. I don't know, I just felt really comfortable. Because the second sector is probably my best part, and the mediums held really well there. and the time I lost in sector 1, I made up back in sector 2. So I was like, every lap, I was like under a tenth, maybe 2/10 of my personal best.
Yeah, the consistency we noted when you was the last one to pit. Obviously, you had you and Coutinho on the strategy. Coutinho unfortunately stayed out for a bit too long and didn't get to see the rewards that you tried to reap. Oh, okay, makes sense. Yeah, Masiek really unfortunate there to get a spin so late on the race.
Yeah, because then go on.
No, sorry, carry on. I was just going to move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that takes us smoothly into the race winner. So, Jericho, congratulations on what. At some points, I'm not sure from your perspective, but so how would you say that race went? Were you confident of the win from the start?
Yeah. I was quite disappointed not to get pole. I knew a 14.3 was in me, but I had a poor middle sector. But I stayed in the pits, but wasn't enough. I shouldn't have stayed in the pits.
Yeah, I was wondering. I noted that as well. I was thinking, did you stay? So did you stay in the pits because you thought it was enough, or were you trying to save a new set of?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was enough, so I was trying to save a new set just in case. But I was only down a bit, but yeah. And then through the race, just stayed behind King. That was the plan. Just stay as close as I can, and then a late call, which did get me a 5-second pen.
Yeah.
Into the pits. Yeah. So
wait, you know about that already?
Yeah, I checked. I have a race engineer with me, so.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So
was that an interesting dynamic? Because usually we don't really have stewarding live like that.
Yeah, live stewarding. Yeah, it's
because
they said in chat. Yeah, it was like 5 seconds. Like, oh no way. So I was like, okay. And then Maciek started catching. I was like, oh wait, I might not win this race. And he's fine.
Exactly.
Something on the stream. I thought. With Masiek, obviously, he might not have known that you had got a 5 second.
At the time, yeah.
So my worry for Masiek was he had such a big gap to P3. If he didn't think he'd be able to catch you in time, maybe he just lifts and takes a nice, just sweet drive and make sure he doesn't crash.
Yeah,
to the
off the pen, yeah.
But obviously, I don't think he would have known about the penalty, but unfortunately, he did end up spinning. But yeah, you outclassed everyone there pretty much. You had King, who was on level peggings with you. But unfortunately, he just pushed too hard when he pitted.
Yeah, he had really good pace though. I was
yeah, he did.
Yeah, because obviously he pit a few laps after you on the mediums. Were you worried about? No. Let me change the question. What were your tires like at the end? Because that's what I really need to know.
64%.
64.
I'd done the practice before this. Yeah, I'd done the practice before this, and I pitted lap 9. I got 62%. So like, if King doesn't pit lap 8, I'm gonna just go in, see if I just get a good undercut. So that was the plan. So yeah, and then
64. Okay.
Yeah, it was just traffic. Was a problem? Like I struggled to get past Coutinho.
Yeah, we saw that.
That was a cracking bit defending from him.
It was the Fernando Alonso defense for Maciek there.
That was quoted.
Going wide the final corner and like trying to get the best exit. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be a struggle. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I expect to see that on one of the highlight videos in the coming week.
Yeah, that was good defense. Props to Coutinho for that. I'll give him that.
Well, props to you today for winning, even though you were granted the 5-second penalty.
Obviously,
there wasn't any collisions anywhere else with you and King, so seems to be a risk-free win there. No worries about stewarding to come. You've already had that pretty early.
Yeah.
So well done.
I can relax. Thank you.
Yeah,
Can I ask you something, Jericho?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Like lap 16 to 26, did you just drive casually?
Yeah. So I wasn't pushing.
I was like looking at the gap and I was like,
yeah.
Okay, he's 3.1 behind me. Then I looked at the gap a lap later and I was like, hold on, how is he 3.6 behind me?
I think one of the laps I made a mistake. I touched the grass, turn 5, and then I just kind of went wide. I made a couple of mistakes, but like I was trying to like keep it calm. I was already on one morning, so I was just trying to keep it calm. I knew at the 5 second, and Maciek was catching me. I was like, I need to pick up the pace a little bit here, just in case. But yeah, and then Maciek spun, and I was like, okay, I can calm down. No, I don't have to push too hard.
Yeah, but GG,
so,
amazing.
Yeah.
So just finally, obviously Aldridge has not been active the last 2 races, and what that has allowed in terms of realistically to score the points, you got to be in the race. So you've won the last 2 races, and now you're within 24 points of the championship leader. So, what do you think then? We've got Belgium, Saudi, the wonderful Singapore, Imola, and then Monza. I believe that's Monza anyways. Yeah, Monza. What do you think? Do you think you can win this championship?
I feel like the last couple of races were pretty strong for me. So, I mean, only time will tell. Obviously, I need to be there for the races.
Yeah.
Not sure yet, but like, hopefully, we can bring it back. It's going to be close, but I need luck on my side now. Is what I need.
Well, yeah, I guess an element of it, but still with 5 races to go, 24 points, a lot can happen.
Yeah.
So in terms of Libana, I know. Obviously, is this your first podium of the season? Let me see. I can't find it.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is your first podium.
I
So
was
in
struggling
the,
so much in the first race.
I was gonna say, what are your hopes then for the last 5 races? Are those tracks that you're fond of? I'll just put it out there. I've not done one race lap of Saudi Arabia, so when that does come around, I'll be completely finished. But just from your perspective, how do you feel about those last 5 races?
One race I'm really looking forward to is Singapore.
Oh yes, amazing.
Yeah,
I love that track.
Singapore and Hungary are my best tracks.
Okay.
Last question from me. It looks like on the Euro F1 attendance there's 2 spots. So, any of you available tomorrow?
I am. I said it. I am.
Get another podium.
Okay.
I'm not, so yeah.
Well,
I already messaged that I am available for tomorrow. So yeah, I hopefully will.
Well, yeah, hopefully we see you guys there. I guess we'll leave it at that for now. It's been a very entertaining race, especially with only 14 drivers. I must say, very good job for all the drivers as well. I know there was a few DNFs on the last lap, but to go through the whole race like that unscathed was really, really good stuff from everybody here. So yeah, obviously tomorrow, 6 o'clock, F1, make sure you tune in. That should be a really good race. It's going to be a full grid, always competitive. Me personally, I've not raced in a few weeks, so I'm really looking forward to it. Josh is on form as well, so hopefully I can beat him and get some more points for Mercedes. But yeah, from myself and Josh, I'm not sure if he wants to say anything, but from us here, it was a pleasure, by the way, commentating with you, mate. Thank you for filling in for JJ, because I don't think I would have been able to do all of that about myself, basically.
yeah, I do want to get into it. I want to get into a tier and do it consistently every week, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully we get more of you here. I'm sure the audience would like that as well. But yeah, from us here, Ero F2. Obviously, tune in tomorrow, and hopefully we'll be back next week.